is Enterprise, out of all the Trek shows we've covered so far, the least subtle in dialogue exposition as to what characters are thinking about as they do things. Do you think do the other Trek shows have moments where the character goes, I don't have any other choice, I have to do this? I just think that the other shows, not that they're like Shakespearean in their writing, but I don't feel that they frequently had characters say things like that, or like that the bluntness of what they were doing was so expressed to everybody else. Like there's no subtlety to what Archer is thinking or doing. I think a lot of this is in Bakula's performance. I think this is a terrible Bakula performance for what needs to be done here.
Guys, he's not getting this. We need to shut some lights off. We gotta get the drama out of this somehow. Just turn the lights off. Just keep turning the lights off.
Lower the exposure in post. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel that for everything that I like about this episode, the bluntness of they didn't give it to us, we have to take it. Like, I wish that they didn't talk about it so much that way. I wish it was more just of like the crew knew what was being asked of them and no one really talked about it. And maybe they do kind of do that, but I still feel that the Bakula performance and Archer's dialogue is really bad in this about what he's choosing to do.
Well, I actually was kind of surprised that they weren't. We might be remembering it differently. I don't know, but I didn't feel like they were as on the nose as I expected them to be. I feel like there's a certain point where once everybody was clued in, they kind of started talking pretty openly. But like the scene with Phlox, I thought was pretty good because he never comes out and says what he's gonna do.
Yes, I would agree. I would agree with that. I think that the Phlox scene works in a way that I expected the rest of it, but he has conversations with at least a handful of other people. I think maybe Reed and stuff like that about what they have to do, and some other people.
This is also so funny. Like you're doing this. You're having Archer make a decision that just is ethically shattering for what the Starfleet guys all think that their deal is and the code that they live by. 3 episodes after Archer almost killed the entire ship by giving them orders that nobody wanted to follow because they were ethically insane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you had the Makos as a big part of that when the Makos were here. But
talking about
I feel
Hatchery,
like this is an episode,
the bug
yes,
episode.
Hatchery.
Yeah.
I feel like the Makos could have been a bigger presence here as well because it's as far as like the decision making process, or at least in the because Archer is now actively bringing in the military arm to do something that they shouldn't have to do, but that they're just kind of in the background.
They're the guns
getting shot. Yeah. But yeah, I liked some of it. I think some of it played pretty well. Like I think that the scene where they just are all kind of talking about what needs to happen, I thought was interesting because they are trying to think about like the most ethical way to be unethical in a sense, as far as how they can get in there and get out and not destroy the ship and not completely strand them or whatever.
Yep. Don't take away their weapons because you can't be defenseless. Leave them food when you take their other thing. Leave them supplies and stuff like that. Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Archer probably is laying it on a bit thick. But yeah, I thought everybody else handled it pretty well. I didn't think there was too much. Well, they had like one or two. What is it? He gets into the shouting match with T'Pol, and T'Pol smashes the thing on the corner of the desk, and then he gets into a similar argument with Trip, I think. Yeah, they didn't stand out too much as being like too over the top, but I might be misremembering how specific the dialogue actually was.
Yeah, I think it's and I guess that's why I wonder. It was my takeaway while I was watching it, thinking like, I just don't know. I don't know if Enterprise's script writing and dialogue writing matches some of the other series at their best when they're doing something like that, because it just seems it seems a little bit like rudimentary or simplistic in a lot of ways compared to the other shows, where I think that the other shows maybe layer the stuff better.